What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with my 2025 GMC Denali Ultimate Duramax 2500 HD. It's a mouthful. But today I just want to talk about why I bought this truck over every other truck that's on the market that you can buy today, both new and old. Now, to start, this is, of course, like I just said, 2025 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate 2500 HD with the best Duramax L5p and, of course, the Allison transmission, which, for those of you that know, the 10-speed is not technically a real Allison. It is a 10-speed GM transmission that they label as an Allison. So the Allison and Duramax badge has been together. Duramax and Allison have been together since 2001, but the truck has had a Duramax Allison badge since the LBZ since 2006. So there it is again, Allison. There's actually a short time for 2026 model trucks that actually did not have Allison here. So if it was an ultimate badge like this, it would just have Duramax here centered, because there's a short time where Allison was like, we don't want you to use our name on your 10 speeds anymore. So that is, of course, one thing I'm going to get into with this truck. Now, first things first, of course, why I bought it. Absolute number one reason for me is I absolutely love how these newer style GM trucks look, specifically these 2024 to 2026 now GMC trucks. I think these are fantastic looking. Now, obviously, that is subjective. That is what I think. You might think the Fords look nicer, and that's okay. Now, of course, obviously, I love these new headlights opposed to the previous design, like 2020 to 2023, and especially 17 to 19. I think the 17 to 19 Denalis are also a very great looking truck. Those are my second favorite. If I couldn't have this, that's what I would have. I would have a 17 to 19 L5p Denali, because those have a real Allison in them, but we'll touch on that later. But I think in general, these newer big body trucks, as a lot of people call them, I think do look nicer, especially some of the little things like cab lights. Like these new style cab lights on these trucks are great looking for factory. And then same thing with these mirrors. I think these mirrors look great. These are very controversial though with the mirrors. A lot of people think they don't look that great because they're not attached up here anymore like they used to be. They're down here. They do look a little, I will admit, when these trucks first came out, I thought they were a little different too, but I've grown to like them, and I think they actually look quite good. And then like I said, other little things too, like with the looks. Like I like how in the back here there's this overhang for the third brake light. Like just little things. Like it looks nice. Very, very little things. And then obviously we come back here now. Obviously newer truck, so you get more stuff. So obviously, again, attaching to the reason why I bought this truck, I really like these multi-pro tailgates. Again, a lot of people don't like them for whatever reason, and that's fine if you don't like this, but I think this is cool. So obviously GM, you get a bed liner, of course. Now this is a Denali Ultimate, so this has pretty much every option in it, which is another reason why I picked Denali Ultimate. Now, of course, grab handle here to get in. You have bed lights, a 4-pin here, a 7-pin here for gooseneck stuff, because of course you have gooseneck ball, and then chain hookups, and then the 4 is for a fifth wheel. And then over here, of course, you got a 120 volt plug, which is cool. I have not used it yet though. I was thinking about making a video on what that can and can't run, because I'm curious what that will power. And then, of course, being Denali Ultimate, you got a kicker audio system in here, which is cool. I will admit I've been using it quite a bit, especially when I'm out here washing the truck, because having a black truck, they get dirty the second you drive them, so wash it quite often. So this is rather nice to turn on and just have some tunes going while you're washing. So close off with the tailgate. Yes, that is another reason why I like these GM trucks, and that is another reason why I picked this one, because I think that tailgate system is pretty neat. So moving on. Of course, obviously, like I said, I love the way these trucks look. So, of course, fender flares. This lights up. I kind of didn't like these when they first came out. That's why my first newer GM truck like this was actually a High Country. I had a 2023 High Country before this. Actually, a couple trucks before that. A couple trucks before this. So, I preferred at the time the Chevy look because the Chevrolet does not have the fender light here, and also the fender is a little bit different shape. But I've grown to like this actually better. The more I've seen these, I actually grown to like these better. And of course, Duramax. So diesel fuel, DEF, AdBlue. So of course, so one thing I want to talk about too is what's under the hood. So L5p Duramax, that is one of, I think, the best diesel engines that you can buy nowadays, as far as new trucks go. So that is another factor as to why I wanted this truck. And I think the L5p, it sounds great, especially when you make a few parts fall off, if you know what I mean. And they just, even stock, they just sound good. Just like the harmonics of it, just everything about it. They sound good. They put down the power extremely well. Now, this is not the most powerful truck on the market new. Of course, this truck is 470 horsepower and 975 on the torque. The new Cummins that just came out is, I think, 1,075 torque, or something like that. And then horsepower, I think, is around the same as this, around 470 or so. I could be wrong on that, but the new Power Stroke is the winner in the horsepower and torque war at 500 and 1,200. So, and that is actually what I used to have. I actually used to have a high output Power Stroke with the 500 horsepower and the 1,200 pound-feet of torque. And I think, honestly, the Power Stroke, for as powerful as it is, they don't let you use that power until you get higher up in the RPM range, because there's a lot of torque management with those trucks. That way you can keep the rear wheels planted, which is good, but also at the same time, it just doesn't provide a very good driving experience. Now, that's one of the things that I really want to talk about with this truck. So, of course, this has the 10-speed transmission in it, which I know has its issues. It can have issues, valve bodies, the inner drum can fail. Like anything mechanical, it can fail. Now, even the 6-speed Allisons, I want to touch on for a second here too. The 6 speeds are also not prone or not exempt from failure. The 6 speeds can blow up just as much as these 10 speeds, even though it's a real Allison. They can go into limp mode, they can still have valve body issues, you name it. So I think the real 6-speed Allisons are a very good transmission. It's just, I personally prefer the way that these 10-speed trucks drive over the 6 speeds. The 6 speeds are very nice, but the 10-speed just has just a different feel to it, and it is just buttery smooth. And that is another thing that this truck gets a point for is, of course, Ram, you got 8-speed now. Ford is 10-speed, this is 10-speed now. This 10-speed compared to the Ford. The Ford, you put it in drive, normal mode, starts you off in first gear, and it skips a few. It goes, like, for example, 1 to 3rd to 5th to 6th to 7, and on and so forth. So this truck, though, if you're in regular mode, not tow haul mode, throw it in a drive, it starts you off in second gear, and it'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, all the way up to 10. And then when it downshifts, it doesn't really skip. Every now and again, if you're really on the brakes hard, it'll skip, but not that often. So the Ford will skip all the time, and even though it works, it's just, again, not a very good feel. Like, something it's hard to explain. If you've driven like a 2024 and newer Ford, and you've also driven one of these 2024 and newer GM trucks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But these trucks, these GM trucks, in my opinion, just have a very good feel to them. Not only with like engine and transmission, like as far as like putting the power down and shifting, but also just how the overall truck drives, like suspension wise. So I'm sure most of you know, but these newer GM trucks are independent front suspension, no solid axle up here. So they handle obviously differently compared to a solid axle truck. Steering's different, and just overall handling is different. Now, this being IFS, obviously each front wheel can move independently of each other, hence the term IFS. So with that, going down the road, it just rides much smoother because it soaks up a lot of the road like harmonics better. And now this is obviously torsion bar, IFS, not like coilover like the half-ton trucks have. This is, so that bar right there, that is your torsion bar. So that bar twisting is your front spring, essentially. So I think it's just a very nice feel going down the road. Like the truck, these trucks corner very, very well, like especially like, you know, high speed corners like on the highway and stuff. These trucks just handle very, very well, and I think they drive very, very well. And of course the rear is still solid axle, non-coil sprung. This is of course the 2500, and it's still got leaf springs back here, which heavy duty trucks should have. Ram has coil spring, which is good for ride quality, but you got, you know, track bars and a whole bunch of extra stuff in the back end that can wear out. Also, like most of the new heavy duty trucks, 2.5-inch receiver, which is cool. But yeah, so like as far as exterior wise, that's why I picked one of these trucks. So to summarize, the number one, looks, and then obviously this is Onyx Black. I think this is the best new color you can get on any new truck. And I picked this truck over like a 17 to 19 Duramax, pretty much just because of looks, interior, and the 10-speed. So obviously looks, how it handles, which a 17 to 19 truck is going to handle pretty much the same. The chassis are the same, but I think these trucks just look so good, like insanely good. Like I could look at this truck literally all day. All right, guys, so sorry to interrupt the video, but one thing I would like to add about why I picked a L5p Duramax this time opposed to a 6.7 Power Stroke specifically is the 6.7 Power Stroke still uses the CP4 fuel pump, which, yes, I have a Ford poster up, but so CP4 in that truck. And the GM trucks 2011, 2016 used the CP4 in the LML, which obviously ran from 2011 to 2016. And then in 2017, when the L5p came out, they switched to the Denso HP4, which is a much better fuel system, much more robust. Pump is much more reliable, and just one less thing to worry about. And also with the Duramax, the L5p, they take 10 quarts of motor oil. Of course, here's a oil filter from one, PF63. Small compared to a Ford filter, but that's okay. Obviously this is just a box. Don't worry, I'm not putting 020 in the L5p, don't worry about that. And then also the L5p takes 1540, and it takes 10 quarts, opposed to the new Power Strokes that take 15 quarts. So a little bit of savings when you're buying oil. Not that it's, you know, a huge deal, but, you know, it's a little thing to consider. And then main thing is fuel system. Much more robust fuel system on the L5p. All right, guys, so reason number, I don't even know what number we're at, but one of the other big reasons why I bought this truck over any other truck, especially this truck over the Chevy High Country, which, as you guys know, are pretty much the same, is this interior. Now, this is obviously Denali Ultimate interior, so you're only going to get this color seat with the Denali Ultimate. And of course, these seats are massaging. Now, this is the first truck I've ever had with massaging seats, and let me tell you, they are nice. They are cool. And also, speaking of cool, these seats are, of course, heated and cooled. You can adjust, obviously, lumbar and literally everything. Literally anything you can think of adjusting, you can adjust. So they are, of course, very comfortable. I love the way they look, and that's the big thing too, is I absolutely love this color. I think these color seats are fantastic. And then, of course, the suede headliner, which I think is really cool. It's the first thing I've ever had, a suede headliner. It's so nice. It looks cool. Of course, it's soft, but I mean, how often are you touching your headliner? And then this is like porous wood, which is cool. Just literally just this whole interior. And of course, I got the Banks iDash installed. That's cool. I'll make another video on that because I think that is worth, every diesel owner should have one of those. And of course, steering wheel, beautiful steering wheel. It's another thing I like better about the GM trucks opposed to the Fords. The steering wheel is much thinner. Like the Ford's steering wheels are just kind of fat and chunky, which I got small hands, so the steering wheel on this just fits my hands much better. And of course, still a column shifter, how a heavy duty truck should be. And then this is all nice soft touch leather. I did put the all weather floor mats in here. And then of course, door panels, again, beautiful leather. This is real leather too. So it smells like a leather boot in here. So a little bit different new car smell, but you know, seats are beautiful. I actually got to get some leather conditioner to take care of these. That's the other thing too. And then of course, center console, same leather, beautiful. And then rear seats, again, the same, same beautiful leather. Rear seats are only heated though. And of course, sunroof, Denali Ultimate. This thing literally has every option in here. This is a glove box. This opens, obviously glove box that opens. And then of course 2 power running board, again, Denali Ultimate. It has everything. Alrighty guys, so overall I think these trucks are fantastic. If you are in the market for one of these newer Duramax trucks, whether it be GMC or Chevrolet, I mean they're pretty much the same. Of course, Chevrolet is going to be different looks, so if you like the look of the Chevrolet better, you know, go for that. I of course like the way this looks better, so I went for this one, and I think the interior is better. So here we are with this. And of course the Ram, I just personally don't like the way the Rams look. I think even though the new 6th gen looks pretty nice, I still think this just looks better in my opinion. And I'm just not the biggest fan of the Cummins. I personally just prefer the L5p and even the 6.7 Power Stroke over the Cummins. I've never been a big fan of the Cummins. I know they're great, but they also have their issues. And then the Ford, I've had a few Fords over the years, and again, after having a few of them and then having now 2 of these GM trucks, I just simply prefer the way these GM trucks handle and drive and just everything kind of compared to the Ford. I know the truck is filthy, but I work in a sand pit. Actually, it looks pretty good on camera. It looks dirtier in person. I did just wash it a couple days ago, but if you guys have a black truck, you know my pain. And I work in a sand pit too, so it gets pretty dirty pretty quickly. So that's going to be pretty much it for this one. Like I said, I just wanted to make a quick video on why I chose a L5p Duramax Denali over literally any other truck you could buy. So that'll pretty much summarize this one, or be it on this one. So if you guys liked it, hope you hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.